Yes. Thank you so much, Subham, for joining me. And thank you so much for joining me in a very short period of time.
Thank you to you to connect with me because I also have been looking for a partner with whom I can speak and communicate because it has been a long time since I have spoken with someone. And it is also the occasion of Holi, which we are going to celebrate after a day or two. So I don't think it could be a better opportunity than this, right? That I
Right,
have met a
right.
new person, and with her, I will talk about Holi's and
Mm.
because the Holi, this
Is
festival is
around the
going on.
corner.
So, what do
Yeah.
you think about Holi?
Yeah, I'm not thinking so much because I'm not excited about Holi this year because my son is not well. He's little under the weather. He's suffering from fever. That's why. But yeah, looking forward. Hope he will get soon. Early, like in 1 days, in 1 to 2 days, he will be okay. I hope. So yeah. What about you?
Yeah, we should always have our fingers crossed,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Because, okay, if I talk about my opinion about Holi, so I personally don't celebrate much because I don't like the colors and all these stuffs.
Hmm.
But when it is my, you can say, turn, you can say, to make someone colorful, so I never step back. And I have been thinking for a very long time about what I should do in this very occasion of Holi, and I have come up with so many ideas. Like in Holi, we also play with water balloons. I hope you have
Hmm. Yeah.
played in your
Yes.
childhood.
Yes.
Also, in my childhood, even if I get time now, I can also play with this thing. I will not step back. So I'm thinking that
Hmm.
what if I add something else instead of water? Like
Okay.
usually, what happens if I add or if I put inside hot chocolate and if I throw?
Hot chocolate.
So imagine how wonderful it will be. We can also
Yes. It.
add many things: mayonnaise, uh, ketchup,
Hmm.
rasmalai.
Yeah. Yes, you are right. But in the other way, we can spoil eatable like lots of things, right?
Yeah, we can't spoil. If a person, I'm throwing it, if he's feeling hungry, he can eat it.
How much? How much
Or we can
ketchup
also play.
he will eat? How much mayonnaise he will eat? It depends on the person
Uh,
choices too.
then he will have to carry a ball full of, like results, so
Yes.
that he won't feel bored eating it. Because
Mm-hmm.
only if you eat ketchup, so it might feel a little, you can say,
Uneasy.
monotonous. But if we have something, if we have some stuffs, one or two, so we can just add it and we can eat it as much as
Mm-hmm.
we want. But of course, it's a festival of Holi, so we must not
Right.
think about how much we should eat. We should keep
Mm-hmm.
eating, right? And the next day, of course, we will feel health issues. But it's all
Right.
right.
Yeah. So before
It's not
diving into
every
the
day it
session,
comes.
could you introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, yes. If I talk about myself, my name is Soham and I'm from West Bengal. And by profession, I'm an English trainer, communication coach, as well as a teacher trainer. And I help people speak English and become fluent. And I have a YouTube channel, and its name is Alpha Talker. So there I also have many videos
Mm.
where I help learners to not only you can say the basic structures, also I teach advanced structures, and mainly my the intention is towards apart from grammars, because I have noticed one thing, that most of the people, they are running behind grammars, but apart from structural rules, there are many things we must grasp, right?
Right.
The figurative way to speak or communicate with someone's, right?
Mm-hmm.
The advanced phrases with which we can have a little bit sense of humor, right? And many more things, because most of the people, what happened, that they know so many things, right?
Right.
Phrases, idioms, phrasal
Mm-hmm.
verbs, root words, but when it comes to speaking, they are unable to execute those words, right? Properly. So this is what I help the students learn, that whatever you have learned, that is enough, and now it is your time to take the initiative, right, to
Right.
go and be a flamboyant speaker.
Hmm.
So this is what I do, and I also have so many batches which I run. Especially if I say I'm an online teacher, online English teacher.
Great. Great to know
Okay,
about
and what
it.
about
Yeah,
you?
I'm connecting. I'm talking with the right person right now. Right. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it's my turn. You already know my name is Pooja Singh and I hail from Lucknow, Uttar Pradesh. I'm a devoted mother of inquisitive 5 years old. And these days I'm honing my communication to upgrade my lifestyle and my communication. And I was working earlier, but due to the some circumstances and for the sake of my child, I had to leave my job. And yeah, I have completed BTech in electronic and communication. If I talk about my leisure time activities, so I love to interact with different person, like from diverse background, to know about them, to know about their culture, life experience. And I'm too much into English, so uh, I just want to know about their individual English journey that will motivate me to be in this niche, to be consistent. And I'm fond on cooking. I love reading book, and simultaneously I also run a small YouTube channel where I upload this type of conversation video and some shorts video. My channel is totally dedicated to English. Yes, it's a nutshell who I am.
Okay, before we jump into the conversation of English, I just want to know one thing, and I am
Yeah,
curious about that. That most of the people, okay, they are improving their speaking skill. That is all right. We must, right? If we want to live in this cutting edge era. But the only thing which I want to know that what is your actual profession, and whether you have switched that profession and come here in the journey of English, right? Because you
yes.
said that
Mhm.
when your baby was born, you had to leave the job. So, what was your profession and what were you
Yes,
doing?
yes. Earlier, I was working as a software tester, and now I can say I
Okay, what
switched
is
my
that?
job. I switched my job because
Oh,
this
no,
is
no.
what a
What did you say about your profession? Software something? Can you
software
elaborate
tester.
it a bit?
Yeah, software tester.
Okay. Can you speak in a nutshell? What is it?
Means a person like after developing any app, anything, any software, we have to test quality check related to all things related before launching. We have to test everything related to software.
Okay, software tester, right?
Software
Means
test.
it helps examine or scrutinize the apps, right?
Right.
Which is initially going to launch.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm. That's a pretty good job you had, right? But
Right.
what motivates you and drove you to come in the journey of English?
Oh, it's been 1 years. I went my son's school for PTM and also where like I was thinking, okay, now like I'm able to understand English. I'm able to like I had grammar knowledge, I had vocabulary power, but in terms of speaking, when I went there, so especially in front of teacher, I was not able to articulate my thought. I was not able to ask about anything, asking about my son's. Growth and related to subject anything I was not able to ask, so that intriguing me. Okay, Pooja, it's time you have to first you need to improve your communication if you want to communicate with a teacher, and if you want to attend like being a parent, I have to attend PTM, right? So it's my compulsion, so that was intriguing point for me. And from that day I have decided, okay, now it's time to give it a shot. It's time to work on our communication. So I was searching a lot how I can improve my communication. I say what is the best method to improve my communication in a 3 months and all. I searched a lot, so I stumbled upon one video that was between two housewives. So I was thinking, okay, if she can do, I can also do. I searched a lot, so I took some session with English Yari, and after that I built my confidence. So I started taking online session with the different person with different YouTuber. So now I'm here and I'm thoroughly enjoying this journey.
Okay, so
And
basically,
yeah,
you are communicating or everyday new people, right?
right,
And
right,
that's how you are getting your fluency improved.
right.
So it has been 1 year you have been learning English. So what are
Not
the
1 year. It's
methods
been
you have applied
it's
to
been
be
six.
articulate?
It's been 6 months.
Okay, it has been 6 months. So
Yes.
whatever you have learned, you are a pretty good speaker, which I can observe. But as you said, so you it took 6 years to be articulate. So what are the methods you have applied to be articulate?
Yeah, I first I created my own channel, English channel. Uh, with that, I like found lots of person to connect with them, and every day I try to connect at least one person to practice with them. And I use Chat GPT, and I read book every day. I read book, and yeah, and I record myself for short video. That helped me a lot. So I try to do all the four pillars LSRW except writing. I'm not into writing. Yeah.
Okay, but I am, because actually I'm a writer as well as a poet. So whenever I get time, I write. But it is not because I want to practice English. It is when I feel something,
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
when I get overwhelmed. So at that time, I write poetry, and it helps me overcome my emotions.
Oh,
So
great.
that's why I write. Okay.
So how did you
Yeah,
develop?
because
How did you
this,
develop? Like, have you started your English from the scratch, or have you completed your schooling from English medium or CBSE school?
yeah, the later one, because the area where I belong, like in my society, like there is already an ambience created, right? And also, apart from this, I also had a personal English tutor since my childhood. So I
Oh,
never had the need to go deep into that language. But yeah, I
hmm,
was learning whatever my teacher was teaching. And also when I was in my, you can say, you can say when I was in my higher school. So at that time I got the best English teacher of my city, where most of the toppers used to come, except
oh,
he was very furious a person.
hmm,
And he also has beaten me a lot, but that was a blessing because I have learned so many
hmm,
things
hmm,
from him.
hmm,
And apart from this, I had so many friends from also convent school. And like, so we were used to speaking English even if I meet someone, right?
hmm, hmm.
Or when I am around with my friends. So we also speak our in our native tongue as well as English, right?
Hmm.
Because unless and until we use some phrase, we can't feel the satisfaction that okay, we
Right.
have had a good conversation with
Hmm,
him.
hmm,
Or apart from this, if I tell you that what helped me more to improve
hmm,
my English is reading novels and watching movies, because to be honest, I am a student of English literature as well as, so that helped me more. I have read so many novels. Apart from this, I'm fond of watching Hollywood movies. In Hollywood movies, my favorite genre is psychological thriller, crime thriller, and like they are really very good movies. So whenever I get time, whenever I get free time, right?
hmm, hmm.
So I go and watch the movie, and there I get to know so many things, the way they express their thoughts, right? And how when a person, when he is getting overwhelmed, right? So how
Okay.
is, there are very minute level things you can know, right?
Right. Right.
Because what happens most of the time, we think, or we have the same rhythm when we speak English. So when we are excited, right?
Hmm, hmm,
Still we are following the same rhythm. When we are emotionally low, right? When we are feeling a bit low key, we are also like, our rhythm is not being changed. But uh, if we go deep into the matter, so
hmm.
you will realize that there are many parts or many areas, right? We
Right.
have to
Right.
work on. And that I have been observing a lot, right?
Hmm.
To the foreigners, that how do they react,
Yeah.
right,
Right.
in
Right. Yeah.
situation, and that's how I have improved myself. And recently I have completed a book. It's a Clockwork Orange. Actually, the movie is famous. It was directed by Stanley Kubrick in 1970s, right?
Hmm,
1970 or 1980, I don't remember. So movie was more famous, but I'm fond of reading much than watching movie. So first I thought to watch to read the book,
hmm.
and in that book I came across so many words, and you won't believe that in the book, the writer is Anthony Burgess.
Hmm.
For this book, a different dictionary has been created, has been made, because the words which the writer has used, you won't find these words in any dictionary.
Right,
So that
right.
is why a separate dictionary
Totally
has
agree.
been created, like debochka, young girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Petitsa, young girl, moloko, milk, right? These are called natset slangs, right? And of course, the story was very amazing, cool,
Mm-hmm.
about the way things goes around Alex, right? That how karma hits back, how a person when he sees in their teenage, how do they react, and how we have that epiphany, means when we realize that what is right or what is wrong. So
Mm-hmm.
this I learned right from this book, and of course the journey with the Alex, means the narrator, or you can say the main character of the book, Alex, right? It was really very wonderful, and I must suggest you also read it.
Okay, definitely, definitely. I will read it. Because earlier I was not into reading, but recently I have inculcated the habit of reading for the sake of expanding my word power and comprehension power. I heard from lots of person from here and there from tutor. If you want to really improve your vocabulary power and comprehension power, so you should read book. So it's been 3 months I have been reading book. So I am thoroughly enjoying while
Yeah,
reading.
it is not mandatory that you have to read book. Only you have to observe that the area which is your expertise. Like
Right.
what happens sometimes people they don't like much reading. They prefer watching
Mhm,
movie. So
mhm,
even if you watch movie, there you will also learn so many phrases, right?
mhm.
Phrases like
Right.
no cap, right?
Mhm,
Yeah, everyone is jumping in the bandwagon, right? So there
right.
you will also get so many phrases. But yeah, if you are more like a reader, right? If you have this that I want a room of my own,
Mhm.
rather a peaceful one, and there I don't want to get disturbed, but with one of my book, with which I have to spend at least 5 or 6 hours, right, without getting disturbed, right, by
Five
anyone
and
else.
six
So if you have
hours.
this type of tendency, sorry.
Not possible. Not possible for mine because I'm mother of 5 years old kid. So hardly I can get time at least for 1 hour for reading.
Yeah,
So
because reading it requires a lot of attention,
yeah, right,
right?
right,
If you
right.
read
Mhm.
whatever you are reading, and there are also categories of books. It
Hmm.
depends what type of book you are reading.
Yeah.
Like if I talk about simple books, so if
Hmm.
students who they are beginners, so I recommend them to read the books of Chetan Bhagat's, like Revolution 2020, The Girl in Room 104.
Hmm.
And these are very simple books, and The Alchemist, of course, it is also simple for me, but some students they have said it's difficult for them. I don't know why, but for me it was simplest.
Yeah.
And if I
Hmm.
move forward a bit, then you will get books like like Dan Brown's. What
I
was
don't.
the name of the book? I forgot. There was a very good book, like Da Vinci Code. Yes, Da Vinci Code. This book I read 2 to 3 years ago. It took me 10 days, but it's very difficult book. And apart from this, if you go reading for books like there are many writers, right? And they
Right.
use lots of metaphors,
Mm-hmm.
irony, like the book which actually um, I became overwhelmed after reading that book. That was like Lord Jim, right? Like
Mm.
I had to read a same, you can say, para 3 to 4 times to understand what
Understand.
actually the writer wants to say, right? And the meaning, of course, after getting the meaning, I was feeling like falling in love with the writer, because it was so much, right? So much emotion he has put into that.
Mm. So
So
that was kind of
reading actually
advanced
it
level book.
requires a lot of time.
Yeah, that was
Sorry.
advanced level. That was kind of advanced level book. Right.
Uh, yeah, like, see, like, nothing is advanced, nothing is basic, right? It all
Mm-hmm.
depends upon how much concentration you can give,
Right.
right?
Right.
How much focus you can have, right, during reading that book. Because what happens when we have started reading a book, right? if
Right.
we are not able to understand a para,
Mm-hmm.
we don't have to be nervous. We just have to try to understand, search
Mm-hmm.
the words, right? And then try to connect that what could be the meaning which the writer is trying to convey us, right? And once you will get the rhythm of that book, right? Then
Mm-hmm.
it will be easy for you, because what happens, every writer has their own style to write books, right? And
Right.
you have to understand that which particular style the writer is following. Once you will be acquainted with the writer's style, it will be easy for you to read the book, right? Unless and until you're acquainted, so it will be a bit difficult initially if you read any book, right? But
Right.
once you will
Right.
be aware of it,
Yes.
it will be
After
easy for you.
reading 7 to 8 pages, you will feel comfortable with that book. Right. First, we need to
Not
understand
seven
like
to eight.
seven
You
to
have
eight.
to read.
Yeah. So you are like you have been reading books since more than I think how many like from your
5 years.
childhood, 5 years. So it's been 5 months. So you can imagine. I took lots of time. I always take these days I'm reading The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. So it took me 7 to 8 pages after reading
Yeah,
seven to
these
eight.
are self-improvement book. These are
Yeah,
not novel. Like these are self-improvement books.
self-help.
Yeah, it is good. Like there you don't have to give much effort, because these type of books you just have to follow the rules and
Rule,
that what they
regulations.
are
Yeah,
talking about.
mm.
Yeah, like the
You can use.
theoretical part, they
Right,
focus much. But if
right.
you read books like, for example, if I talk about which particular series has been my very good friend, right?
Mm-hmm.
In reading, I will go with the Harry Potter series, and
Hmm.
I will tell this to everyone, those who they have taken the initiative to learn English, those who they're about to, must go with Harry Potter, because none other than Harry Potter can be the best thing to start English with. And even if you meet the great speakers, the great learners, they
Right.
will also tell you the same, because it is also good for, like kids, adults, no matter
Adults.
whatever
Yeah.
your age is. The
Mm-hmm.
journey with the Harry Potter, with the seven part, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like from the Philosopher's Stone, the Chamber of Secrets, right? And
Right.
each part
Right.
you will get something new, right? And by
Right.
the end, you will be a part of that journey, right? That every time, right? That
Right.
when it is their time to go to Hogwarts, you will feel that you are also in the train to go
Yes.
to Hogwarts.
Yes. I have watched several times, but not read. So have you read Harry Potter
Yeah,
novel?
it took me, yeah, when I was in my college, I
Mm-hmm.
got an opportunity. So it took me 1 month, 15 days something to complete all the parts. There are seven parts.
115 days. Okay.
45 days, 1 month and a half, you
Mm.
can say.
Okay. So please tell
I
me.
I was so
Mhm.
crazy,
Yeah.
after completing the first part, I have been so crazy. Like I was not following the syllabus and all. For
Yeah.
1 month, I stopped reading, studying, right? I was just focusing on reading that part. And even though I had been, the craze I had, it was like, unless and until I could finish the book, right, I was not able to go to sleep, right? I
Yeah.
remember when I came to the Order of Phonics, the fifth part, right? It was a very thick book, like 800 pages, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was night, and I was reading. It was like 2 o'clock, 2:30, 3, right? I was reading,
Okay.
reading, reading. What
So
will happen? What will happen? What will happen?
so have you ever
So
scolded by
like
your
this.
parents? Have you ever scolded by your parents for reading so
I
much
have
novel?
been at that time I had been living with my uncle,
Mm-hmm.
so I have not scolded, but I have been scolded. You can say. So not by my parents. I have been living with my uncle since then. So my uncle always used to say that, "What rubbish are you reading? You focus on
Your
reading
yeah.
books which is related to government exam."
Right.
But if I
Right.
talk about myself, I don't like government
Mm-hmm.
exams, reading this type of books, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel. But when I read this book, I remember when I was in my third semester. So I had a fascination to read The Kite Runner. I don't know, but it is a very famous book, if you know or not. The Kite Runner,
I
which was written by Khalid Hosseini. He has two famous books, Kite Runner and The Thousand Splendid Suns. So at
okay.
that time, I had this, you can say, courage that I have to read. I have to read.
Mhm.
It was during the time of Diwali, right? So that time, my uncle was, you can say, whenever I fell sick, my uncle used to say that, yeah, you have Kite Runner. You can read that. So I
Yes.
said, I have already completed, right? Now I am looking forward to reading something else. So in this way.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I loved reading. So I used to read
Yeah, that's
without
why now you speaks
caring
well.
about.
And that's why this is the benefit of reading novels, lots of novel, right? You speaks well. Once our brain get wired with the English, so the English words comes from our mouth automatically, right? So that is the benefit of reading lots of novel
No,
book.
actually,
Hmm,
no. There is
not
one
like
thing
that.
I must correct that if it is not like if you read 100 books, you will be able to use words
Mm-hmm.
because what I believe and what I have been told by my friends, like when I'm watching movie, I don't watch movie with the intention of I'm learning something. When I
Okay.
read book, I don't read a book with the intention of I will learn vocabs. I
Okay.
read, I watch so that I can enjoy, so that I can feel that okay, I'm doing something. And the words, it is you can say consciously are coming in my mind are getting planted, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
seeds.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that is how it is happening. But if you are too much aware of the words and this, right? So what happens? Sometimes it becomes hodgepodge, right? And
Mm-hmm.
when we are able to speak, we don't, you can say, no words will come in your mind,
Yeah.
right? So
Yes,
what
yes.
happens is that you just leave in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? You just leave what you are doing. So what will
Yeah.
happen? Subconsciously, the words will automatically come, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the also you try to react the way the other characters they are trying to react in the movie, right? Like
Right, right.
suppose a speaker which you have seen, right? And I remember a phrase I learned when I was watching Prison Break. It was not a, you can say, very
Mm,
difficult, common one. Like, don't be a babe in the woods means don't be or don't act like innocent, right?
right,
So
right.
also you try to act that, okay,
Mm,
don't be a babe in the woods, right?
mm-hmm.
Fit as fiddle, right? So in
Right.
this way, right?
Yeah.
And the phrases, what we learn. I'm
Mm-hmm.
also telling you one thing that you can also create phrases of your own, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because when you are speaking, you have to play with the words,
Yeah, right. Yeah.
like you are
So,
talking to someone, right?
mm-hmm.
You can say to that person, hey, wow, just like I can say that to you right now, wow,
Mm.
you are looking flamboyantly gorgeous today. What's the matter?
Yeah, yeah.
Enough to impress it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, what did you do for speaking?
What I did for speaking.
Hmm.
I spoke whenever
Yeah.
I get chance with the friends because what
Yeah,
happens?
you have friends.
I'm a bit talkative person. That's my problem actually. Whenever I start speaking with someone,
Mm-hmm.
I keep talking for no reason. I don't see the benefit of it, but I just keep talking. And I have lots of people around me. So whenever a friend or whenever anyone, right,
Mm-hmm.
calls me, you won't believe. We talk for hours, whether
Hmm.
it's male, female, whoever it is. We talk for hours, right? Till
Yeah,
2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, right?
yeah.
That we don't go to sleep easily, right? Because from my side, I'm not gonna end. I
Hmm.
must be strict with the statement which I have given.
Mm-hmm.
He is also not going to step back, right? He is
Mm-hmm.
also trying to, emphasize the statement which he has given, right? So in
Right,
this way,
right.
and
And
we
one
always
last.
try to question everything. That
Mm-hmm.
is also one of my thing that everything we always try to question, like whatever is happening, why this thing is happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think so? So basically, I also try to get the opinions of other about any intellectual topic.
Right, right.
So
Yeah.
these way.
So my last question. So what is the best method to remember all the words, all the vocabulary which we have learned watching through some film, podcast, reading books? What is the best way? Like there are lots of
Okay, so the best way
words.
to learn, I'm
Yeah.
telling you, the thing is, don't try to memorize 100 words which you
Hmm.
will forget.
Hmm.
Just take one word or phrase, whatever you learn, right?
Okay.
And use that particular word for a week.
One
Um,
word, 1 week.
yeah, because the more you use that word in real life conversation,
Hmm.
you will not forget it. Like, suppose, how are you?
Hmm.
I'm fine. I'm fit as fiddle, right?
I'm
You
happy.
can say I'm as good as Daisy. I
Hmm.
couldn't be better. So
Yeah.
there are advanced way of saying I am
Yes.
fine. Now you learned I couldn't be better, right? I
Hmm.
couldn't be better. You don't need to learn the other three which I
Hmm.
have said. You just remember one and you
One.
use that. When someone is saying, "How are you?" I couldn't
Hmm.
be better. Means I'm
Okay.
perfectly fine. I'm very fine. In the same way, if someone is asking you, "Are you happy?" So you can say, "Of course, I'm on cloud nine." You
Right.
can, instead of saying I'm happy, you can say I'm
Yeah.
on cloud nine, I'm over the moon,
Over the moon. Yeah.
I'm in a state of euphoria. I'm euphoric. I'm delighted. Blah blah blah. Lots of,
Yeah.
you can say, phrases are there, but you remember one only, right? And you
Mm-hmm.
use that one particular phrase or word, right? And you use it everywhere, right? So what will happen?
Mm-hmm.
That word will be planted in your mind, and
Right.
whenever someone asks you, it will trigger that okay, you have to use it, right?
Right. Right. Yeah. So these are my question, and we have less than 1 minute.
Okay,
So
so
it
it's
should
going
be
to be
better.
a
We should wind up this session with the gracefully, right? It could be. It may be disconnected anytime. So
okay, but it was nice to talk to you, and
yeah.
I like to connect with you again, right?
Likewise.
And I also have many ideas, right? So I'll tell Tushar sir to connect with you. But actually, the thing is, I wanted to talk about Holi, not English.
Yeah, definitely we will connect another time. Not
Uh,
another time
be,
because Holi is around the
because
corner, right?
yeah, because also it will be good for both of us. Okay,
Right,
let me
right.
just save it.
Yeah. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for connecting with me. क्या बोल रहे थे यार